Hi folks, my name is John, and thanks for tuning into this video today and taking a look at it. And what you're going to see is we're going to do some cartooning, and I'm using a program called MyPaint. You can use whatever one you like. Maybe you like Krita or even Paint.net or something like that. Now, what you'll notice is that, and you'll see who it is in a few minutes. You'll figure it out. Old favorite of mine. What you'll see of my first layer here, if you notice all the way on the right there, where it says freehand drawing, I have the opacity turned pretty far down. What I'm getting is a gray drawing here. That's intentional. So what I'm trying to do here is just get my sketch in. Just figure out, roughly where things are. Now you'll notice what I did there was I flipped the drawing. Right up in the middle of the screen there's a double arrow, and you can flip it. Now I was trying the pencil here, and I didn't like it for my second layer. So you'll see I get rid of that later. Right there, yeah, I switched to a brush mode. Now the reason for flipping it is because that really lets you see your symmetry. And what's really nice if you're working digitally is it's just 2 seconds. If you're doing it on pencil or paper, it can be a little bit trickier. You can always look in a mirror. You can hold your drawing up to a mirror if you have one handy, or look at it through a mirror. Or you might need a light box if it's heavy enough paper. You can flip it over and see, hold it up to a light. Tracing paper works great, but I find tracing paper, it's just so thin to draw on. I haven't drawn on it in a while. I may have to do that. But if you want to do it digitally, it's really quick because you just flip it and you can check your symmetries and say, okay, do I like this or I don't like this? Now you'll notice I'm doing a second layer and it looks really sloppy. This is not the final layer. Not the final layer. Now I flipped it back to the orientation I wanted. So this is kind of my sloppy layer. Usually I do 3. I do like a sketch, a sloppy layer, and then the final. So what I did, and you see me, I'm fumbling around a little bit here. I'm making that sloppy layer less opaque. I'm making it into the gray. Because now I'm going to trace over it using the final layer. So this is the final layer. And you'll see also I deleted the layer that was my sketch layer. And we'll delete the sloppy layer, the middle layer, in a few minutes. So that's really nice too, because you can do a sloppy layer or a sketch layer, get rid of it, do another one, get rid of the old one. You can fine-tune this however much you want. Now occasionally you'll see I draw a line and then it goes away. It's just like most other programs, you use Control-Z and it takes a step backwards. And that's really handy. Because one thing when you're drawing digitally, you can't turn the paper. So sometimes I find my hand cramps up a little bit, or it can be a little difficult because I have to hold the pen a certain way. I can't, rotate it to make my lines as smooth as I could. And even with this drawing, I don't know if it's perfect. It's more a demonstration drawing. You can always do your Control-Z till you get this. You'll see I really had trouble with the top of his head. Yeah, and I adjusted his little part in his hair a few times here. Yeah, now here's where I really struggled, because that's a big, smooth curve, and that's hard to do. You see, I almost got it there, but it's a little bit, and I tried to erase it, and that really didn't work. So you'll see that I get rid of that line and just do it over. Did I get it on this try? Not quite. There we go. I tried something else, and this totally didn't work. All right, so I was happy with that one. So sometimes it takes a couple tries to get it right. Another option might be to add a layer over this and then use the circle tool. You'll see there's a circle tool up there, kind of the top middle of the page, and then just draw a perfect circle. So all I'm doing here is adding some black. That always looks good on cartoons when you can have like a big layer of black. You'll even see that in like old Donald Ducks, where his shirt actually wasn't blue, it was more of a solid black. And especially with Richie Rich. So thanks very much for tuning in today, and take care.